naming some of the street, Everest road or something like that. In some of the areas where the city council has approved that, change the name of the street after Nepal's Mount Everest road. Those kind of things we were able to highlight there. And also they wanted to know how many Nepali children they speak Nepali. I mean, you are Nepali, you are born here, that's fine, but what about your children? They speak Nepali. I mean, they come here and they can say, where they want to go and what they want to eat. If they cannot say that in Nepali, then what is the use of giving them a Nepali citizenship? So what you are doing about that? So we were able to explain that in the Nepali community, our Nepali local organizations, NRN, everybody are encouraging the young kids to have a Sunday school. They have a lot of places, as I hear, I know myself, that there are a lot of places where they have a Sunday Nepali school. So they teach about Nepali culture and the Nepali language, and then what kind of holidays we have, and then what happens when you go to Nepal, what kind of situation we will face. So these are the things that we are also focusing on that. That's what I told them, and they were appreciative of that. But the problem was that they were not aware of so many things that we are doing here. So that is also another problem, that we have to educate them. I mean, a lot of members of these parliaments were, we have been lobbying for many years. So there was a parliament that was also Constituent Assembly, and there were different members there. We were educating them, and they were almost trained on the NRN issue. So suddenly the election takes place, and some new guys come in and they just get up and they don't know anything about it. They start from the beginning, zero. So this has been going on right now. So it is an educating process. I don't think they are negative about it, but I think we have to educate them so that they don't, show any negative attitude towards that. So that is what my personal feeling is. So we, as a diaspora community members, have to really lobby on our, interest in Nepal as well as here. And the key for that is, united front we have to have. We have to have a united forum to come up with, and then we have to really tell them that, look, we are not divided, we are united on many issues. We are diversified people within the Nepali community, but on our common interest, we are all united and we want to do it together. So that is the message that we have to give it to them, so that anybody is traveling to Nepal, they always ask them, what's going on? Why you are not doing it? Let's do it. I mean, why you are holding it? Now, why is he holding it? Now, all this should have been resolved, but it didn't pass. So why do that? So the question is, it didn't pass because they are bringing other issues. Now the issue of the Indians marrying Nepali citizen, and then what happened to them. So there was agreement at one point that if you marry a Nepali, I think still now, Indian female married a Nepali, she can get a Nepali citizen right away. And there are 2 or 3 ministers right now from that kind of connection. So now they were changing that to make it, waiting period of 5 to 7 years, and then they get citizenship. So at one point they agreed on that. Now they changed the position that we don't want to give up our rights already we're enjoying. So we're not able. So this provision has actually made it difficult right now. So we are really stuck because they said, your NRN pass portion is, let's say, one chapter, and that's it. But we have other issues, so we have to resolve that. That's why we are holding it. So hopefully, we are seeing that all the political leaders, top leaders, have to agree on this point. So that's why they never met, but they only talk outside on the public, in the media, but never meet and never discuss this to reach to a final conclusion. That's what it is happening right now. So you don't hear much about NRN, what's going on, but you get some of time negative publicity. I see that sometimes say that, oh, tomorrow if you are a Nepali citizen, here if you go to Nepal and say you are a Nepali citizen, they are going to put you in jail. They are going to fine you this many years. Or if they find your Nepali passport and the Nepali citizenship in your pocket together, they will also take it in detention. That kind of news are coming. Somebody puts in the Facebook or something, and I get calls, but none of that is true. Nothing has happened on that. So the other part of the situation that I'm a bit longer, but I just want to wrap it up, is that there is the NRN Act, which has been in law for quite some time. That needs to be amended, and as soon as we have the Citizenship Act, the NRN Act will be amended. That will be according to that Citizenship Act. Therefore, so we are also waiting on that line. The Foreign Ministry is working on that. That's the Home Ministry is working on the Citizenship Act. So we have this kind of situation. So anyway, so this is what we have the update on that NRN citizenship in Nepal. So with that note, so I will say that if there are any questions about the immigration law, if anybody has specific questions about their family, you don't have to give a name. We'll be able to answer those questions. And thank you for your time. And now I'd like to invite our dear friend, Honorary Consul General and Attorney, Mr. Marvin Brustin, to come up to the podium and tell us, what his experience is handling personal injury cases among Nepali, diaspora, and how you think that, what kind of rights you may have it. So he may be able to explain that to you. So let me welcome you. Please come, Mr. Brustin. Thank you.
Just a few comments. I don't want to bore you with telling you stories about cases, but I do want to acknowledge, I wish I could speak to you in Nepali. I'm an adopted son, but I wasn't educated in Nepal, so I can't speak to you in Nepali. If I had a choice, I would have both languages, skills, but I don't. I wanted you to understand that you have a new constitution. I had the opportunity of reviewing it. It's very voluminous, very inclusive. It includes everybody gets a piece of the pie. Very interesting document, a little tedious, but it covers everybody. Our Constitution has two magic words. Our meaning United States Constitution. Equal protection of the law. Equal means equal. It's not just a word, it's a concept, it's a theory, and it says everybody's equal. Equal rights, equal opportunity, equal protection, equal enforcement of the law. And our Nepali Constitution hints at that, but doesn't say it as dramatically as the U.S. Constitution. Because the U.S. Constitution gives you the opportunity to enforce it. They have rules and laws that have been passed that if you violate the Constitution, you're in trouble. You could be sued and you could be punished. Nepal is going to come along. I think they'll probably do the same thing because the concept is there, the theory is there, the good intentions are there, but without enforcement, without a hammer, it doesn't happen. So I hope it's going to happen for Nepal. I also want to thank you and encourage you, keep on doing just what you're doing. NRN is a very effective organization. You folks are together, you have the right idea. Don't give up, don't be discouraged. Keep on doing just what you're doing. It's very effective. In my business, my profession, my mortal enemy is corporate greed. I spend my professional life, yes, I make a living doing it, yes, it's been productive, but corporate greed is what I fight each and every day. So there's bad things out there that you can correct. If you don't agree with some of the Nepali rules, even though I'm work with the government, and I'm an adopted son, and I'm technically a diplomat, I do see there's flaws in every government. If you see something that's not right, correct it. Try to lobby it, talk about it. Don't be discouraged, don't be defeated. You're doing a great job. Keep on doing just what you're doing and do it more. I also wanted to mention to you that my mortal enemy is vulnerable. Just because the road is tough doesn't mean you don't follow that road. You can overcome it. I have a law firm that represents people with serious injuries and serious and death cases. I've had the honor of representing some of our former Nepali ambassadors for tragic deaths that happened. I represent a lot of Nepalis, and you'll be interested in knowing. I want to talk in generalities, not personally. You are entitled to the same protection under the U.S. Constitution for an immigrant, non-citizen, or citizen. You don't have to be legal to be protected by the Constitution. It covers everybody. So if you have cousins or relatives or friends who have a terrible problem happen to them, even if they're not citizens, the Constitution covers them too. Our States is all inclusive. You all have those rights. Take advantage of it. Many of you are citizens, and congratulations on doing that. But I have a bias. I feel that just because you're an American citizen, you have a culture, you have a heritage, you have a home country, a mother country, you shouldn't lose that. So whatever I can do to encourage the Nepali government to incorporate and to be inclusive as far as the immigrants are concerned, and NRN, I would do so. I think it's the right thing to do. You should do it. Don't forget your culture. America is built on people with different cultures, different communities. Every neighborhood in Chicago is a different neighborhood. Different countries, different background, different food, different language, different habits, different traditions. Nothing wrong with that. That's what makes America really great. That's why America is really a free country, because we include everybody's opinions, everybody's tradition, everybody's background. That's all part of this country that makes it bigger and stronger and better. I hope our Constitution in Nepal is just as good and does the same thing. I am somewhat of a cynic. When I read the Constitution, I said, this is great. I love what you say. Now let's see what happens. Because I know in my litigation, I do try a lot of jury cases in the federal court and otherwise and around the country. But when the Constitution is violated here in our country, we have recourse. You can sue in the federal court for a violation of your constitutional rights, and there's punishment. You're paid compensation when there's a violation. I don't see, we have the jury system here in the States, which is very, very effective. A jury of your peers decides your case. Not a bureaucrat, not a appointed judge, not someone who's conservative, somebody who's fair-minded. That's what you get. With the jury, you get 12 of your peers who make the decision. The judge may decide the law, but the jury decides how that law applies to the people, the facts, and the damages. So our jury system is not part of Nepal's Constitution. I think it should be. Who am I to say? Being a doctor, I gotta shut my mouth. But I do think that the jury system makes it an equal playing field. You get your neighbors and your friends and your enemies. At random, 12 people decide your case. That's not part of our Nepali Constitution yet. Maybe it will be. Because I just returned from Nepal recently on a gathering called by the foreign minister and the foreign secretary to train honorary consul generals on how to bring more tourism to Nepal, how to bring investment there. My view was, give me some tools. Tell me what I can do and what I can say to get investment in Nepal. Because most people who don't know Nepal don't have the benefit of what I know, don't have the love and affection for the country that I've gained over the years. So my decision in that regard is a little bit biased, because I know Nepal, I know the work ethic, I know what the folks do, and you folks do also. So there's good effort by the government. I hope they make it enforceable. I hope they can stay consistent. I'm sure that they will. I certainly hope that they will. And I don't doubt that. I think they're on the right track now. There's a stable government. I don't know the government. I'm just meeting some of the folks now. But I hope that it's better for Nepal. I hope it's constant, inclusive, and it's better for all the Nepali citizens. Many of your families are still there. Your parents, other members of your family are still in Nepal. So your efforts are appreciated by Americans also. Keep your culture, keep your traditions, keep your loyalty to your own country and to your new country. Nothing wrong with that. That's American. So keep up the good work. I congratulate you and thank you very much for inviting me. My wife and I are very pleased and very honored that you have us here. And I always talk too much, but so I know. Three things I know. Make it simple, make it short, and sit down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. Thank you, Mr. Chetri, for sharing your thoughts. We have no more time. Let me call upon Mr. Harry. He's going to share some thoughts on American politics and Nepali, the diasporas, whatever he got experience. That will be so worthy for us. Then in a while, we'll be taking some questions. If you have any questions from the floor, we can take that. You can take, you can just raise your hands, or, you can write down the question, whatever you have. If you have any citizenship question, if you have any immigration question, we will take that, in a while. Just, I welcome Mr. Harry right now to share his views, how we can, just harmonize that's the Nepali politics to the American, and American politics to the Nepali as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would love to speak in English and Nepali, both language. And thank you, Honorary Councillor Mr. Marvin and Mrs. Marvin. We had a pleasure to have you here. And Kavinda Dai and President of NRN and everybody here. I pretty much second whatever our previous speakers and our lawyers told. And as a member of Maryland General Assembly, I'll be talking more about AAPI and how we can engage our community, whatever we have been doing, whatever skills we have, whatever we have been doing for so long in different forums, how we can connect it and how we can create a power and discourse and how we can mobilize our community in the mainstream. That I think I'll be talking on that. And I also was elected 2 months ago. I'm AAPI. It's called Asian American Pacific Islander. Whoever is in politics, you might have heard that word. That denotes the 30 countries of Asian region who are here, who were born here, and who are in active politics. Now, AAPI is a strong, I would say, caucus, even in the Congress, even in every state. AAPI is a strong legislative body. In Maryland, we have a biggest caucus after Black Caucus. We got 10 members, including myself, and I have a pleasure of being General Secretary.